This week on Next Gen NYC.
The poor kid, he's sitting at dinner. Shut the up.
Okay, pause.
Peril.
This poor kid, he's 29. Who gives a
Yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome back. Today we're going to be recapping the new episode of Next Gen NYC Season 1, Episode 6. Let's get right into it. Alright, so I heard somewhere that we're only getting 8 episodes this season, which makes sense. It's a new show, so I get that. I like the show, so I wouldn't have minded like maybe 10 or 12 episodes, but yeah, it sounds like we have 2 more episodes to go. So the episode begins with Ariana, Hudson, Emira, her boyfriend, Georgia, and Omar, her boyfriend, going out. So it's like a triple date. So they order, and they also talk about Brooks's birthday that's coming up, which they're all going to go celebrate at the Jersey Shore, which sounds like a great idea. So they're talking about going to the Jersey Shore and the fun that they're going to be having. Emira then asks, wait, so Charlie, Ava, and Dylan, are they going to be there as well? Ariana's like, yeah, well, they were invited. Emira asks if there's an update with Charlie in the situation with him and Georgia. So Georgia says, there's not really an update other than the fact that he's dead to me. So everybody's like, whoa, like what happened? So Georgia says, he said the most vile, disgusting things that anyone has ever said about me in my life. And I actually believe her because the way he spoke to her in last week's episode was unacceptable. Over a dumb speaker, buy a freaking new one if you needed that bad. Since you think you're so rich that it gives you the right to call other people dirt poor, then buy a new one if that's how rich you are. So everyone agrees that his behavior is not okay and that the way he talks to people is unacceptable. So as a group, they agree to address this on the trip. Not the first night because it is Brooks's birthday. So they're like, let's at least celebrate him for the first night. Then we can bring it up. So then we see a few scenes of the group. We see Brooks with his boyfriend, which, by the way, they look a lot alike. Ariana was cooking. She's also getting ready because her mom is coming to visit her. Georgia visits a cool bowling alley with like an arcade that's also in there. And she says that one of the things that she's known for is converting unexpected places into party settings, which is actually interesting. So she says she has a lot of plans. Her goal is to eventually open a company for these types of party planning stuff and making even movies, she said. So she has a lot of ideas, which I think is great. But I really like this bowling alley party idea. I can see the vision right away. So then Ariana receives her mom, Kim Zolciak. The don't be tardy for the party. Whoa, 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 whoa. Oh, 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 oh. That one. That Kim Zolciak. Ariana is showing her apartment, and she shows her some bean bag, and she says that's where Kim's going to have to sleep. And Kim's like, what? But Ariana was joking. She'll stay at a hotel. Ariana, she really loves her mom, despite Kim's many flaws. She says that her mom is like her best friend. Kim also gives an update about her house that she says she wants to sell more than anything. She's even lowered the price. Originally, it was listed for $5.5 million. She's lowering it down to $4 million. She says she really wants to get it sold. I feel bad for Ariana because she loves her mom. She helps her when it comes to like bills and stuff, even to this day. And I think any kid that loves their parents is going to want to help them. I think the difference here is that Kim is a full-bodied, well individual with a brain that works. She's functioning, everything. She can make her own money. But honestly, it sounds like Kim's problem isn't that she isn't able to make money. It sounds like her problem is not being able to keep it. You are a 50-something-year-old human being. Stop drinking and stop gambling, and that will make your life 100 times better, Kim. I promise you. Anyway, they're going to have dinner later tonight in Little Italy. Ariana then says that she is bringing Riley with her, and she tells Kim that she actually just met with Candy. And then Kim's like, if you think you're bringing Candy to this dinner, you've got another thing coming. I will say though, you guys, if that were to have happened, I would be the first one ready to watch. Could you imagine Riley and Ariana meeting with their moms, but the moms didn't know? That would be iconic television. Ariana also tells Kim about they just found a manufacturer for their clothing line, so that's really cool. And Kim told, listen, she took me out, typical kid, eating Ritz crackers with cheese whip and her red Solo cup. That couldn't be missing, the red Solo cup. But yeah, so that was that. Then we see the two who I don't really like too much, Charlie and Ava. They're looking for clothes for the Jersey Shore and also to buy something for Brooks' birthday. Charlie says he's never watched the Jersey show. He just knows that it's, quote, a bunch of ugly girls and dudes fighting. And I was like, Charlie, I don't think you want to talk about looks, buddy. You don't. Ava tells him that she actually might not go to the shore. She has an event to go in the Hamptons. It's a brand event. She needs to do a fitting and work around some of that stuff. Charlie really wants her to go, though. So he's like, just go. Like, come on, you gotta go. If you have to go before or after, leave early, come late, like, it's okay. But she keeps saying no because she doesn't want to be scheduled too tightly. I do believe that's the main reason why she doesn't want to go. Like, she can't. I do believe that is true. But I also think that she doesn't want to go because she was called out for her shady energy. And I don't think she feels, maybe she feels like she doesn't fit in. I don't know what it is, but she definitely doesn't want to go. And then Charlie doesn't want to go if she doesn't go. He wants Ava and his other friend to go. So he's trying to convince her. We quickly see Gia getting ready to do some dinner. And then Ariana and Kim go to dinner with Hudson and Riley. The restaurant they selected looked delicious. It was like an Italian restaurant. Kim hasn't seen Riley for like almost 10 years. Same time that Ariana hasn't seen Candy. So they're eating dinner and Ariana asks she wants to ask him for her opinion. So she talks about Charlie, how, she says, when we went out to the club, we all agreed to split the section cost, which Kim says, I don't get that section stuff. Y'all should just go home and drink bottles of wine. Now, with that, I agree with Kim. I ain't going to no club for $10,000 a night for a table. No, all I need is my friends, some snacks, some drinks at home, and we're good. Anyway, Ariana says, so we were at this club. We got the bill, which was $14,000. Honestly, almost $15,000. Kim is shocked. She says to Riley, I'm calling your mother. So when they got the bill and it was time for everyone to put their fair share, Charlie said to them, oh, I don't have a card. Everybody knows that. I do Apple Pay. But that's not all, you guys. Charlie then also says, oh, okay, it's $4,000 that I need to pay. Well, that's nothing for Hudson, so I'm fine. And they haven't seen him since. Kim says, oh, that's a shocker. $14,000 bill, and then he disappears. Shocker. He's on to his next victim. That's disgusting. I thought that was funny. Kim is funny. So she does say to Hudson, you're a target. Maybe it's all the diamonds you have. But Hudson says, no, the only target is this one. And he's pointing to Ariana. He says that everybody wants her. And Riley says, yeah, because y'all remember Charlie had said to Ava he thought Ariana was pretty or whatever. Well, that's not the only person he said it to. He said it to Riley as well. The other day they were hanging out. He randomly says to Riley, Ariana's cute. She's hot. And then Riley's just like, yeah? Okay, she has a man. I don't know what you want me to tell you. He said to her, yeah, she has a man for now. Charlie, you are delusional as hell if you think Ariana is leaving her sweetheart Hudson for your dumbass. That's not gonna happen. But that definitely all makes sense. Because remember, Charlie hated them from the night he first met them. And of course he did. Here he sees a hot girl who's also very nice with her rich, respectful boyfriend who truly love each other. Ariana then says that they're all going to be at the shore for Brooks' birthday, and Kim says, well, believe people for who they are the first time, even though that's been my downfall. At least she's a little self-aware. So it's the next day. Everyone's packing for the trip and ready to head out. These people packed an unbelievable amount of stuff for just 3 days. Everyone is going except Dylan. He moved out of Charlie's apartment. I'm not sure if we're going to see him again. And Shai might go. It's not too sure on him yet. On their way there, they went on separate vehicles. Georgia did get a text message from Charlie where he says, hey, are we going to beef or are we just going to pretend like nothing happened? I don't know where your head is at. And Georgia's correct. She knows that, she says that Charlie knows everyone kind of hates him right now, so he's trying to dial it back because he knows he doesn't really have anyone in his corner, really. But I'm glad that Georgia isn't really falling for it. So then they arrived. They got a house. That's where everyone's going to stay. It was a really nice place. Some of them went to the grocery store to get stuff. Emira said she refused to go to a grocery store because she hates them. And I was like, really? I love a grocery store. Also, Emira, she couldn't eat the seafood, so she had to order something. Also, Georgia said that she's only gone to a grocery store like a few times in her life. She gets takeout every single meal that she eats. I was like, what? So Emira ordered her food. She got some Red Robins, and I don't know how much Emira eats because it looked like she got the whole menu. And then Georgia was kind of rude. She was like, ew, what is that? Is the Ozempic wearing off? Oh. Also, as everybody is getting ready, Georgia did fill in Brooks on what happened with Charlie because he asked about their fight. Charlie keeps texting Ava to ask, where are you? Are you coming? Are you almost here? But no, she isn't. She's not going. They all spend some time outside, and then it's a little later, and it's time for them to get going to this casino. So when they get going, one of the cars is Brooks, Chloe, Gia, and Charlie. Gia's giving a lot of unsolicited advice to Charlie about how he should react, how he needs to deal with conflict. Brooks then crawls into the back of the vehicle. What was that about? I don't know. So Charlie throws a temper tantrum when they get there. He already isn't happy that Ava isn't there. Dylan isn't there. He knows most people there can't stand him, and Gia just gave him grief about all this stuff. So some of them, when they are all inside the casino, Charlie's like outside, like a little baby refusing to go inside. So they say to Georgia, go talk to him, make him feel better. So she goes down. Charlie tries to own it right away to kind of like not have to deal with it. So he says, I'm sorry for what I said. I shouldn't have said that. And then he gives her like a side hug. And she says, okay, but here's the thing. The things that you said to me in that conversation are irreparable. I want nothing to do with this conversation anymore. Everyone wants to know why I can't look at you in the eye. And that's why I can't. And a lot of people are upset as well. And Charlie's like, well, who's upset at me other than you and Riley? You know what? I don't care. I'm getting out of here. He doesn't want to deal with it. So he is trying to leave. Emira and Georgia, they go back inside. He stayed down. Georgia is telling them what happened. And this is why I can't stand Gia. Because here she comes saying, oh, Charlie should be able to be here. And you know what, Georgia? You're his good friend. So the fact that you just flipped the switch on him so fast might be throwing him off. It's a lot for him all of a sudden. I'm so glad that Riley turned to Gia's boyfriend and asked him, if some guy got mad at Gia and called her a bitch and poor and dirty and this and said he would want to slap her, would you be okay with that? But anyway, Charlie makes his way to the table eventually. It was a bit odd that Ariana wanted to take a selfie with Charlie. So Georgia does turn to Riley and says, so now everyone's going to act like everything is fine? Ariana got really mad because Georgia is like sort of like, mumbling next to Riley. And Ariana, she can't hear what is being said, but she knows they're talking about her. I see both sides, you guys. I see both sides because in the one hand, Ariana, you talk bad about him nonstop. Now you want to take selfies? But I also get that she was trying to be nice. And she didn't want to make a big scene at Brooks' dinner because they had agreed not to. There's a lot of tension, but then Chloe brings some magician that they hired, and he does his little magic tricks. He distracts him for a little bit, but after he leaves, Georgia's still talking to Riley about this. So that's when Gia jumps in with, you guys, I can't with Teresa, Gia, all these people. it's this, they have this aggressive nature to them. So here she comes, Gia, and screams to Georgia and says, "This poor kid is eating dinner. Shut the F up." First of all, back that, in the words of Dorinda, you better back that up. Who the hell are you talking to like that? Gia, I don't care who you are, who your mother is, who you think you are. I hear you're writing letters to the president trying to get your dad back. I don't care what you are or what you're doing. You're not going to talk to me like saying, "Shut the F up." That's rude and disrespectful. Why are you throwing these F-bombs and all these things? Again, I'm so glad that Riley was like, wait a minute. A poor kid? This man's 29 years old. And that was the end of the episode. This was a lot, you guys. And I'm telling y'all right now, I wouldn't be surprised if this Charlie guy doesn't come back. I don't think he'll be back. Not because I think he'll be fired, because we all know Bravo thrives off this sort of toxic drama and like messy drama. But I think the way he's been perceived as a total loser and just a disrespectful guy, he didn't even want to deal with being at this dinner. I think after seeing the show now airing, he's not going to want to come back. I don't think so. Again, when it comes to Ariana, I do see, and granted, it's not that she wanted to take a picture with him necessarily. It's that Brooks, he held his phone up. He was taking a selfie. Charlie did happen to be sitting next to Ariana, so maybe she was like trying to be courteous and be like, "Oh, Charlie, turn so we can take a picture." Maybe that's what it was, but from George's perspective, I can see how maybe she misinterpreted that, like, "Oh, you're trying to be cool with him now," even though that might have not been Ariana's intention. But yeah, Gia, Gia, you are something else. You need to shut up. That's who needs to shut up, not George and not anyone else. But you guys, please let me know what your thoughts were about this episode. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll catch y'all next time. Y'all have a great one. Bye.